All right, let's get you the latest from Baramati, where reports are coming in of a clash between supporters of the Pawars, and this is the Ajit Pawar camp and the Sharad Pawar camp, the NCP there. So there you can see a clash taking place between supporters, and a supporter of the Sharad Pawar NCP also being slapped. Well, let's go across to Anuj for more on this. And Anuj, this is a key, election battle of this particular election. We already saw in the Lok Sabha, it was all in the family as well, where you had Supriya Sule taking on Ajit Pawar's wife, and now again you have Ajit Pawar and his nephew, or Sharad Pawar's grandnephew, there in the fray, and things are really getting heated with even their supporters clashing.
There are two constituencies where the NCP Ajit Pawar faction is in some serious situation here as far as the conflicts, and by conflict I mean direct physical conflict, is concerned. Number one is in Parli, where Dhananjay Munde's supporters, have gotten into some kind of controversy for entering the polling booth and for destroying the, trying to destroy the place there. And at the same time, we have Baramati, considered to be a much more sophisticated voters there. It's considered that usually the entire process takes place very smoothly there, but considering that the fight is, everything is at stake for both the factions fighting it against each other, be it the Sharad Pawar faction, where the nephew of Ajit Pawar is fighting Yogendra Pawar, and then of course the Ajit Pawar faction. So the stakes are very high, and we are seeing that the result of this is seen in direct clashes, not just electorally or politically, but also physically, especially coming from the Ajit Pawar faction of the NCP. At the same time, we saw that there are a few other things about the Baramati constituency which are important to understand. It usually has respectable voting turnout up until 1 p.m. but we are seeing that the voting turnout in Baramati till now has been very low, and we would only know by the end of the day whose worry is it going to be, the fact that the voting turnout there is so low. Baramati is the place where Ajit Pawar has been winning consecutively since last 5 to 6 terms, and that too with huge margin. During the 2019 election, he won the election there with a difference of a massive 1.5 to 1.7 lakh votes. And this time around, the low voter turnout coupled with pre-poll violence along with such activities surely suggests that things aren't as smooth as they were in 2019.
Right, so those visuals, as Anush pointed out, coming in from the Parli constituency, where NCP versus NCP, Sharad Pawar NCP and Ajit Pawar NCP. But now more news, Anuj, and do stay on, coming in regarding Chhagan Bhujbal, who is a member of the Ajit Pawar NCP, that he was allegedly stopped from entering a booth, and he was blocked by NCP Sharad Pawar workers. So Chhagan Bhujbal in the Yevala State Assembly constituency, they're being blocked by Sharad Pawar-led NCP workers from going inside the polling booth. They objected and questioned how Bhujbal could visit the polling booth several times. And let's go back to Anuj for more on this. So Anuj, again, this NCP versus NCP, they're playing out. And in this case, Chhagan Bhujbal, they're being blocked from entering a polling booth.
Yeah, it is happening in Yevala, which is the home constituency of Chhagan Bhujbal, where he is fighting it out against Manik Rao Shinde, the official candidate from Sharad Pawar faction of NCP. And, much like Baramati, even Yevala has been a very, like a cakewalk for Chhagan Bhujbal since 2004, and that is the first time he contested from that region. But as you're seeing that, as the clash is very high octane on the other 36 constituencies where both the NCPs are fighting it out against each other, even Yevala has no different story. There's a set of guidelines where the candidate who is fighting the election, he has to follow certain restrictions, limitations, especially on the polling day, considering that the rules and the regulations of the MCC become a little more stringent, especially for those contesting. We saw what happened with Vinod Tawde yesterday, and there, while speaking against that, Hirendra Thakur was of the opinion that Vinod Tawde should have been aware that one doesn't really visit anyone else's constituency just a day before elections, and that is there's a similar type of pattern that we are seeing in Yevala as well. Now in Yevala, there is a major concern in front of Chhagan Bhujbal this time around, because Chhagan Bhujbal has been on the radar of Manoj Jarange ever since he started his Maratha reservation. Chhagan Bhujbal has probably been the only top brass leader who's gone on to speak directly against Manoj Jarange Patil, something that many other leaders have tried to stay away from. Chhagan Bhujbal is a huge name in the OBC, amongst the OBC communities here in the state, and the Yevala election has specifically become has specifically gotten divided on the basis of caste, where an OBC Chhagan Bhujbal is fighting it out against a Maratha Manik Rao Shinde, who is the candidate of Sharad Pawar faction of NCP. We saw 3 to 4 days ago, when I was in Yeola, we saw that Manoj Jarange Patil had taken a rally there where a massive number of people showed up, and that increased the concerns for Chhagan Bhujbal, for whom this constituency, as I said before, was a cakewalk, from 2004 even till 2019 when he had some serious allegations against him. But this time around, it's not going to be the same, considering that caste consolidation is there in place. Manoj Jarange factor is going to play a very crucial role there, and especially because Chhagan Bhujbal has been very vocal against Manoj Jarange Patil, and now we're seeing that the restlessness is kind of creeping into the candidates as well, which is making them play along with the rules of the MCC right on the day of the polls.